What's up, guys? Back again. Today we're doing these block off plates and welding these in because, like I said in the last video, I am sick of stuff getting caught under here. So we welded in this side. Sorry I didn't film making these. I'm not a fabricator by any means, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to learn anything. So this side's welded in, nice and flush. We'll probably clean up this a little bit here, just grind it down a little bit more. But this plate's secure. This one's fully in. This one's fully in too. We still got to do this side. I'm pretty happy with how this one came out. It's like spot on up on the strut tower. And then right here, it's like almost completely even. It's a little uneven because the top of the frame rail, the little sheet metal piece is like kind of wavy. And then we just got to weld this one in as well, which is already sitting there. And yeah. So let's get these in. All right, guys, got the plates all welded in. I threw a quick coat of steel over it just for now, just because they're raw metal. So we got the bay pretty much all wiped down, ready to spray. We just gotta throw some plastic over this, but I touched up a couple spots on the roll cage. So I gotta let it dry for a minute, and then we can cover the whole car and knock this engine bay out. I wanted to fill more holes, but man, there is so many holes in this engine bay that it's going to take so long to fill. And a lot of them I don't know because I still use some of them for like brake line holders and some spots that I bolt to. And I didn't mark anything when I took it apart. So we're just going to go ahead and paint over it. It'll look nice with it all painted again. So we'll do that. Get ready to tape this off and then spray this. All right, guys, back next day. The bay is completely dry, and man, I'm pretty stoked with how it came out. This color is awesome. Sorry, there's a little bit of water leaking in my garage on the paint, but it dried fully cured before it luckily leaked on it. But man, this came out awesome, way better than I expected. This Steelwood stuff works really good. It lays really flat, and it covers extremely well. So now we can finally take off some of this stuff to get the interior cleaned up, ready to paint it, which I'm actually going to do a little bit different strategy than spraying out of a gun like most people do. So I'm not too sure how it's going to work, but I want to try it just because I think it'll be easier for touch-ups later, and also putting it on is going to be much easier than spraying out of a gun. So I don't know if you guys can kind of already guess what I'm going to try to do, but I want to try tractor paint, which is super durable. I want to try to brush the whole interior just because it's going to be a lot easier than taping everything off. I only need to tape certain areas with that, and it's super cheap. It's like $70 for a gallon of it. So if it doesn't work out, whatever. I tried something and learned for the future. And if it does work out, then you guys know a cheap, easy way to paint your interior and maybe make it come out good. Let's get some of this stuff unmasked and get ready to start wiping down this interior. So this is what we're going to be using. Macy Ferguson Gray farm equipment paint. Heavy duty, water resistant, and rust preventative. We're going to start in the trunk here as a test area first, just to kind of see how this lays. I might just do the trunk tonight, kind of see how it looks after we put it on, and then debate if I'm going to use it for the rest of the interior or not. We wiped most of it down now. Got some brushes. Let's try to get this rear section knocked out and see how it comes out. So I did my first coat on the trunk. It's actually leveling out really nicely. It's not as much contrast as I thought it would be on the cage, but I think it's gonna look good. Right now it's obviously super wet because I'm laying it on thick, but there's a lot of little nooks and crannies to get in. I'm gonna hit some of the bigger areas and then probably go back and touch up like some of the smaller areas that are hard to get. But let's keep getting it. So I was laying this stuff on extremely thick because I just wanted to have a good coverage, and some of the spots that were vertical started to run a little bit, but it was okay. I just blended them in. I use this for pretty much all of the interior spots, except for some of the harder to get spots. I used some steel it and kind of blended it in just because it was easier to spray it behind some of the bars. But overall, came out fantastic, and I'd highly recommend using this to anybody. All right, we got most of the interior painted. I got most of the bigger areas. There's some areas I'm gonna have to go back after stuff dries and then move stuff and set it on it. But I got most of the easy areas that we could in the interior. All up in there. We're gonna get that spot. Glad I seen that. I still gotta get up in the footwell there because I gotta move that fuse box out of the way. Still gotta hit this little bracket here. Back along that back edge, center console area. But honestly, it has just enough contrast with the cage. I was kind of concerned. I'm sure once it dries, it'll be a little bit different. But man, this is cool to see. Finally get rid of the ugly yellow clashing on the green. It's looking good, honestly. I'm stoked with how this paint's working. Super cheap, and hopefully it's as durable as it's supposed to be. We'll see though. Looks good though. Nice glossy finish. All right, guys, I pretty much got everything finished painted. There's a few spots I'll have to touch up tomorrow. I might do another coat on this. I don't know yet. We'll see how it dries and cures tomorrow. But man, look at this car. It's so nice, barely seeing any yellow. These will be covered by my door cards that I'm gonna make to block these off. But man, look at this. It's so nice. I got to touch that spot up just because there's a few things touching there, so I didn't want to hit there yet. But man, oh man, what a transformation this is. I am absolutely stoked. The contrast with the cage is just right with the interior paint. Trunk came out awesome. I'm honestly so stoked on this. It's nice to see this car just completely like transforming for I don't know how many versions it's been now. And oh, look at who came to say hello. It's Sailor. Surprise visit from Sailor. Are you stoked on the car? Yeah? All right. Well, I'm going to call this video quits here, guys. Man, it feels good to finally get to this point. It's been a lot of stress, a lot of time, definitely a lot of work. But it's definitely starting to feel good and pay off. Like, I just can finally appreciate how much time and effort I've really been putting into this car. And it's stress relieving, but at the same time, we still have a lot to get done. There's an event that popped up in March by, I think it's called iCar Motorsports. They're doing an event at this track in Tennessee that looks super sick, and all my friends are going to drive there. So I'd really like to have this car wrapped up by like the end of March to go drive that event for the very first event of the year. But we'll see. We're gonna keep pushing, try to get this thing done, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Say bye, Sailor.